Hey, my friends, what's going on? Andrew Axum with Axum Outdoor Adventures, and I got a couple of guys here with me tonight that I can't wait to get talking to. We got John Manon and Andy the Champ Lowe.
Round
All
of
right,
applause for the champ.
guys. How's it been going, guys?
Oh, good. Very good.
What have you guys been up to since we got the spring sling over? You guys been able to get out and do any shooting at all?
Every day. Yeah,
Cool.
every day.
I was gonna say I'll defer to the champ here, but
Yeah.
Well, I just go live, my channel and shoot. That's about if I'm shooting, I'm live, and so you'll know if I'm not shooting because I don't shoot unless I'm live. Typically, just I
Yeah.
kind of got spoiled and like to get on there and shoot and chat with my buddies.
See, I've never tried that. I've done a couple of lives now, but I have to do them when I'm not doing anything else because I can't concentrate on the chat and doing anything else at the same time. I'm not
Yeah,
multitasking enough or whatever. But it is fun to chat with people, but that's cool. So you've been able to get out and do a lot of that.
yeah. I shoot a couple of hours, an hour or so a day at least.
Been working on your speed shooting at all?
I just shoot. I just
You
don't
don't really
really.
need to.
I
So
have. I'm still trying different stuff every day, different bands, different frames, different. There's no telling until the day of the tournament what I'm going to be shooting.
it is the rest of us that need to work on the speed shooting, not you.
Well, there's some speedsters out there I see coming up, man. There's a lot of guys working on it. It's kind of speed shooting's kind of taking off.
Nipping on your heels.
See a lot of guys are getting fast.
Well, I am
Well,
not.
are fast, not getting fast. They're fast.
John, how have you been? You been able to get outdoors and do much of anything, slingshots or otherwise?
yeah, kind of getting my feet back underneath me. It seems like since Spring Sling, everything has just run a little behind schedule from what I would like. I mastered the art of trying to get a hold of Andy when he's on a live stream. And so I've learned to check YouTube before I try to reach out to him because
Oh, yeah.
um, but but
Uh,
uh, but no, I mean I've been wanting to get this kind of wrap up video put together, and so I'm glad that we've got the opportunity to kind of put a exclamation mark on the end of this, the way we started with the three of us,
Yeah,
and get
absolutely.
together and chat for a little bit. But I mean, we've been getting out in the yard with the kids. The mosquitoes has just been ridiculous compared to normal. I think we're supposed to get a frost. We've got a frost advisory for tonight, so hopefully that'll kind of thin some of them out.
Really,
But
that's well, you guys have had a lot of rain up there though, haven't you?
yeah, it's been. I think the grass is like a foot and a half tall. It
Yeah.
seems like, and you can like sit there and watch it grow. Uh,
Mhm. Yeah,
but
we
but no,
don't.
getting out and updating our practice range here at the house. I've still got some work to do, but getting more targets out there. Allie has been coming over and shooting with us,
Excellent.
and so that's been fun. And then getting Amber and the kids out and shooting together. Uh, it's been a good downshift, but then to be able to keep slingshots a focus,
Yeah.
but without all of the crazy event planning and all the moving parts. Uh,
Well,
so
hopefully
it's
you'll
it's
be able to settle down and enjoy slingshotting some now instead of trying to set up a tournament for the rest of the community, which we all appreciated. But yeah, it's time to relax and enjoy it a little bit.
oh yeah.
Speaking of the tournament, how do you feel like it went? I know how I feel like it went.
No, I think it exceeded every expectation, and there's so many things that I can go back to that happened, and especially, Luke did such a good job capturing the entire thing.
You did a great
Um,
deal. Yeah.
I was just running around constantly, and so, I would try to make myself stop and pay attention and kind of take it in. Uh, but it wasn't until looking back at photos on Facebook and videos that people have, little clips of stuff, and then Luke's video to actually sit down and see kind of a start to finish what we all ended up putting together, and just how special it was. Even with, the little hiccups and things, there's a lot of stuff that I personally learned. And I think that I would say, personally, I would give it like a 90% overall. I may be a little
That's
too
your
hard.
grade. You're giving it a 90.
Yeah,
Oh,
give it a 90.
I'd go higher than that. I think you did. I think you were well in the A range, but I'd give you what at least a 95. I think it was a great tournament.
Well, I appreciate that. And too, I mean, there was so many cool things that came out of it. And to be able to be on this side of it now and, just kind of start some rough planning for next year. I've been talking with some of the guys and the things that we learned. The few things that I was like, I had it set in my head that I'm like, we are going to do this whole thing in one day. We're going to be able to get through it, and thought I'd kind of accounted for every, you know, possible pitfall. And then we had the wind on Friday that just kind of kept everybody, except for the bravest and most intrepid, off the woods course on Friday, which then kind of bottlenecked us Saturday afternoon. And it was one of those things that, for me personally, getting to that point and realizing where we were at on Saturday, and we still needed, the majority of the people to shoot their woods course score. Uh, I was freaking out a little bit, but then uh, I think Wyatt, my younger son, he and I went out, and I was able to kind of sit at the edge of the parking lot and just look across the field and see just group after group after group of people out there, laughing and having a good time together, and
Yeah.
just being able to, see that kind of zoomed back, and just seeing everybody working across and around. And then we kind of caught up and walked through some of the groups. And so, it ended up being what it was. And it was a beautiful afternoon,
It was a
and
great time.
everybody out there together. And too, I mean, things like the knockdowns, the knockdowns went better than I had hoped. They went so smooth. The format that I wanted to kind of adjust, because we're shooting at the same targets, same scoring, all that. But I wanted to try to do that, group one, group two, group three, group four, and having everybody be accountable for helping a little bit with scorekeeping. And I think what that showcased, from the feedback I got from the guys that have been doing this a lot longer than me, uh, said, that I had a lot of people come up and say that it was like the smoothest knockdowns that they've been a part of. Will was happy because we got everybody involved with the scorekeeping, so it wasn't me being dependent on, you know, five or six guys that are willing to sit there and keep score through the whole thing. Everybody took a little bit of a turn scorekeeping. There was really no room for anybody to fudge any numbers, because I had your score sheet, and then the only time you're touching it is to take it from me and hand it to the next scorekeeper and
Right.
just pass it right down the line. Everybody got to rotate through and shoot at different targets, because there's always seems to be there's some kind of an equipment failure with those things, which is just part of it. And the fact that we were able to get the amateurs and the pros through all that in, I think, less than 2 hours, if I remember right, as far as the timing.
On
And
Sunday, you're talking about
oh, on Saturday,
on Saturday.
because like
Okay.
when we started the knockdowns, we did the
Oh, that's
uh,
right. Saturday was the second day, wasn't it? I was thinking
yeah,
Saturday,
yeah.
Sunday. It was Friday, Saturday. Yeah.
But no, I think that the knockdowns went phenomenal. Will, I think, and I don't want to speak out of turn for him, if he decided to commit to that, but I think he was going to try to adapt some version of that with the somebody shooting, somebody's keeping score at each station, and then you switch, and just to help with the flow of it. Um, and then too, I mean, it just, everybody helps out a little bit, and then you don't have to depend on a handful of people to do everything. And so I'm looking forward to seeing everybody at ECST, and
Me too.
getting my eyes on a different side of that coin,
Mhm.
and being able to just enjoy it. So
Now, I've already made my plans to be at ECST. I know you're going to be there, and Andy, I'm assuming you're going to be there as well.
Yeah.
Excellent. Uh, John, you were talking about the knockdowns. You sent me some pictures. Do you want me to bring those up now? And
oh yeah, yeah, that'd be great with
um,
the
I'll try to bring them up. I'll share my screen, but whenever you talk, I'm afraid it's going to cut back to you. Um, so let me share this one.
Well, and two in Luke's video, if people haven't had, and I guess maybe we could put a link to his YouTube video
Yeah,
of it.
I can put that in the description.
That would be handy for anybody that hasn't had a chance to sit down and watch it.
See the video. Yeah. So now I'm talking, but it should have the picture up here because I'm sharing my screen. This is the knockdown picture that you sent me. So you want to tell us a little about that? Is that were you just trying to? I can actually zoom in on this. I think here, maybe.
There we go. And we had the at that I think that was the night before during setup. So you really can't see I think we had all the stuff covered up so nobody was practicing on it.
Oh,
But
okay.
no, just with the setup and being able to run, 6 people at a time like that, and everybody shot their scores, took their 4 turns, got their scores, and were done until the next thing.
Yeah, and you were showing with this picture here the way the setup was, the stations, I guess is the word for it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was really neat the way that was done. I'd never been at a tournament where it was done like that, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was kind of fun to get up there and everybody doing it side by side, but it wasn't like you see in some of the videos where it's two people and all eyes are on those two people. It was just kind of uh, almost like a group of friends up there shooting together, but taking it a little more serious this time. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with those. I'll scroll through some of the other pictures here. Now this is, can you see that one? That's the other
Yeah,
picture of the knockdowns there. I think. Let me zoom in a little more.
yeah. That one was actually during the competition, so you could actually see there. Uh,
Yeah,
where we got a shooter and a scorekeeper, and then a shooter and a scorekeeper.
yeah.
Nice hoodie.
Uh,
What's that, Andy?
Nice hoodie.
Oh,
yeah, there we go.
all right. Let me find the little arrow. And now this picture. Who's this, guys?
Oh goodness, yeah, this one here. This was hands down one of my favorite pictures to come out. And I don't know, did Andy or
Yeah,
somebody
yeah.
took this?
That was me.
Okay, yeah. I mean that was my absolute favorite picture to come out of this,
It's a
and
great picture.
that
Yeah.
whole being able to be there and focus on like this little teaching moment,
That
with
is a great
Wyatt
picture.
and you know the
That's good.
kids.
I missed this one. I was able to get a picture of Danny Strait and one of his young ones, but yeah, I wish I'd seen that. That's a great picture, Andy.
Yeah, I got it. Good deal. I like that.
All right, so here, this is a good picture. A bunch of kids shooting. Like to see
Yeah,
that.
there's the youth speed shoot. I think it's hard
Oh,
to tell. I think it's zoomed out.
yeah, probably.
Yeah,
That that
that was the
plates up there.
youth speed, um, and
Nice
most of them were
turnout
there.
of nice turnout of youth at this tournament.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and with it being the first one, it was like we had no idea what to expect, and
Right,
I think we ended up with like 25 first-time shooters across the different divisions. Uh,
it's
so I
great.
mean that was huge. Almost, I think we had
Yeah.
95 paid registrations, and then we did have I can't remember how many people. There was I think 4 or 5 that registered but then weren't able to make it for different reasons, unfortunately. And then we had some of the people out of that shot but didn't submit scores, so they participated but they didn't submit scores. So there's like I was talking with Will about that because I'm like, where do we as tournament directors and presenters and promoters, like where do you put those numbers? Because like if I had if it was a movie theater or a concert, if I sold 1,000 tickets and 800 people showed up, we still collected the money for those tickets. So do we count the total ticket sales? Do we count
Mhm.
just the participants that actually showed up, or do we count the people that actually the ones that submitted scores? So I feel like from the promotional side of things, I'm counting the paid registrations first and foremost, but then put that caveat of, well, yeah, it was 95 paid registrations, uh, but say we only had 87 people actually shoot, show up and shoot. Um, and for the first event, like that is so far beyond anything
Unreal.
I could have hoped for, so thank you to
It was.
everybody that made the trip, supported us. And I can't wait to take everything that we've learned and put something different and special together for next year with some more time to plan things and make adjustments and operate on some new ideas, new perspectives.
You sent me one more picture here I wanted to share. And at first I thought this was maybe the first, second, and third place winners in the youth division. But one of these kids looks a little overgrown to me.
I was going to say, we might need to see the birth certificate on that one in the middle.
I think I might know what picture that is.
Trying to get it where I can share it here. Yeah, that one kid there in the middle looks kind of overgrown compared to the rest of them.
I barely won that event.
So tell me about this picture.
I mean, I think my wife must have taken it because I did not take
I think
this.
I think I got Karen to take that picture.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I can't remember if it was one that
I
you sent me.
I had a ball with those two jokers. We had a good time that weekend. I thought a lot of them, and we got to hang out on the range and shoot together a good bit.
I can't tell which one of the three's got the biggest smile on there.
We had a ball together, though.
I think they're all tied.
Well, make sure I got a picture with them to remember that moment, that weekend with them.
That is excellent.
I was gonna say, even without the picture, I know they're gonna remember that stuff the rest of their lives. I mean, it was literally weeks.
Yeah.
That they're still talking about it, and the interactions with so many different people that took the time to help them band up a frame or give them a frame or just joke with them, give them a pointer, shoot at the practice range with them. Lindley got to go out and shoot the woods course with Bill, and I think he kind of kept score, but they were just so gracious with her and that whole group of people, and I kind of tagged along for a little bit just to make sure things didn't things were getting held up too much for the experienced shooters, but everybody was so wonderful, and they'll remember that weekend.
Well, the kids
the rest of their lives. So.
The kids are half the fun, I think. I mean, I enjoy going and shooting and stuff, but watching them make these memories and have a great time, that's half the fun to me. And you were talking about them having memories. I remember my dad and I never went to a slingshot tournament, but I remember him taking me out, showing me how to use the wrist rocket and stuff. And so those memories stick in your head, and they'll always have that. So that is excellent.
Yeah.
You're talking about them talking about it for a couple of weeks. Here in just a couple of weeks, we got another tournament creeping up on us. I'm pretty excited about it. This is going to be my first time at East Coast. Andy, you've been there before, I'm sure, haven't you?
Yeah, it's great. John's gonna see firsthand that how much better MSS went than he thought it did, because over the years you'll see that doesn't matter what event, there's going to be a tweak the next year. I don't care how long the tournament's going. There's going to be some kind of tweak to try and make it a little better. So you could have done much better. When older tournaments like this one is trying to emulate stuff that you did, you've done a good job.
Well, I agree with you. I've never been around and I wasn't involved in organizing this one other than helping John talk about it on here. But just being involved that much and hearing him talk about it, I had no, concept of how much went into putting one of these together. And I have a little bit more of a concept of it now, but just knowing all the things that had to come together at the right time. Yeah, I don't even like to hear you say it had a few hiccups, because I don't think it did. I think it was very smooth.
Well, even a couple of them, or some of them, was even happened better than originally was planned.
Yeah.
Like the speed shoot, for instance, I thought that went better than a little change. It was better.
I did enjoy it. I enjoyed it, but yeah, I thought you were kidding a minute because you did so well.
Oh no, not at all.
Well, and I think for me personally, it was one of those things that I'm glad that you can, especially it being Andy, the one saying that's kind of set the standard for everybody as far as the speed shooting,
Right.
and led so much by example, and out there showing everybody the secret recipe that he's developed, to try to help elevate that entire uh, event, or but last minute, kind of a behind the scenes thing, last minute there was a lot of time that the guy that did all the targets and things for us, that was one of the first things that I did, was try to get all that stuff sorted. So I knew, because in the back of my mind, I'm like, if I get the targets taken care of, get that stuff rolling, give them some extra time, shouldn't be an issue. We'll have everything done. They killed it. The woods course targets, everything else, turned out fantastic. But there was a rig that never saw the light of day. That was our speed shoot rig, because he didn't get the feet and the base for the whole thing didn't get finished in time, and he didn't realize it until like last minute. And so I think, I don't know if it was like Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever, or early in the week. And there was the whole like jury duty
Oh yeah.
conundrum as well for myself that week, and unfortunately didn't get selected, but it still took a chunk out of one of the last minute prep days. But that rig never even saw the light of day, unfortunately, and we put so much time and effort into designing it and tweaking it and making adjustments, and to then not have the stand for it, and we were trying to scramble to, oh, hey, can we throw something together that's going to hold it right and not have anything get messed up? And it was just, we finally made that call to just pull that out and use those uh, gong targets for the speed, or for the distance shoot, for the speed shoot as well. And I think it was one of those.
Oh, is that what happened? Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that wasn't the plan to start with. So,
Well, and I was getting pulled in so many directions that, there were things that kind of slipped through my fingers, get stuff taken care of, that it was like, oh, hey, I'll do this on Thursday. And then it was like people start showing up and getting the vendors and everybody their spots. And, it's like, I'll take care of it later today. And, we're going to try to sort that out. And then we're sorting the woods course, and Will and Graydon, and myself ran out, and I was able to kind of give them a rough idea of what I wanted. And then they were able to take that idea and just run with it, and created such an incredible woods course. And even though we kind of lacked a woods for it, but
Great.
I've heard nothing but compliments from people about that course that they put together.
it was a lot of fun. It really was.
Yeah, agreed.
But with that speed shoot dilemma, I guess, was, do we use it on a stand that maybe isn't going to be as solid, and then run the risk of malfunctions and things, or do we pivot and try to do something different? And so we made the call behind the scenes to just pivot and use the gong targets for the distance for the speed, which then, the only unfortunate part was that made that the one event that we couldn't do the national ranking scores for, because we weren't exactly in the NSL
Oh,
guidelines for that, because it was bigger than the can silhouette. But that did prompt additional conversations about how much easier it would be to have a single can silhouette on a pole, like those stands for the
for the
speed,
speed
or
shoot.
for the distance. But you'd have a single target that is at that fixed distance, and how much easier it would be to have one of those, or a set of those that you could pop up at an event. The one thing that we did realize, which could easily be solved by making them out of two different thicknesses of steel, but those two, the 12-inch and the 8-inch gong targets for the distance, if you see in the videos, we kind of tried to do the back and forth. So we'd have an amateur shoot and then a pro shoot, and then an amateur shoot, then a pro shoot.
Hmm.
And Will and I were doing score stuff in the office, and from the other end of the building, and you could tell which division was shooting, because the difference in the sound. So in theory, we could have actually run them at the same time. And if I'm keeping score for you and Andy's keeping score for somebody else, all he's got to do is listen for that one sound and just count the number of times. And so even if they're hitting about the same time, there was enough of a difference between those sounds. So just it's kind of a thinking ahead for, larger numbers as the sport continues to grow, is something that we could do to have like multiple shooters going at the same time, with different sounding targets.
Oh yeah.
So, like Andy said, it was kind of a happy accident, and to have him feel that positive, being that that's his like, specialty, and then to throw that monkey wrench in it, and it's like, well, do we just nix speed altogether, or do we, like what do we do? And then that was kind of the way we landed on. It's like, let's just use these targets. We won't be able to submit the potential points for everybody, for the national rankings, but everything else we could. And so for it to happen that way, I know there were a few guys that were kind of upset about that, but for Andy to be able to come into that, and two, I mean, it showed like the adaptation, and I feel like that's something that we as a sport haven't quite figured out, because you got the woods course, that's kind of simulating different distance changes and terrain changes and the wind and things, knockdowns, that high pressure of standing there with a bunch of eyes in the back of your head, watching you precision shoot, and then you got the distance, and then the speed. But as far as like just a versatility, I feel like that showed some versatility for the people that were able to just roll with it and know we were trying to do the best we could to present it, and then just be flexible to that and go out and do a good job with it. So.
Yeah, agreed. I think it's more repeatable for as someone that wants to practice at home. Not everybody's going to have the 10 can or 20 can steel set up, or it's easier for someone to just practice with one spot.
I agree with that, because I have actually set up 10 cans before and tried to do speed shooting practice in the backyard, and it would be easier with one. I agree with you.
Yeah, I even set up at the tournament. How many times would it between every person you have to go reset them? Yeah, you probably set it up where you could pull a string or something, but trust me, that don't always work.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah, just resetting them alone would be slowing everything down. You had one set of them, so then the pros and amateurs couldn't go at the same time. There's a lot of things that it worked out way better in the long run. I think it's a good change, that maybe the official rules should be changed as well. Which I was on the rules committee and really pushed for the cans or the can size knockdowns on the rules committee for the NSL.
You were pushing for
Because
that?
I was part of that, and I was really pushing for that specifically, because now hindsight, well, originally my thinking was it'd be I wanted to be a spectator sport and seeing those cans knocked down or whatever.
Knockdown, yeah. It is neat to see.
It is, yeah, but this here was just as exciting. Hearing the ting, 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 and knowing when somebody's doing good and the pressure's on, the clock's ticking, and
Yeah, I don't think it took away from the excitement any.
not at all, not at all. So
no, I mean,
anyway, I changed, my mind has changed. So going forward, I wish I regret.
we'll make sure to take that into consideration for for those listening, that if
No,
Andy,
this whole sport is a work in progress. I mean,
Yeah, I just like to see it repeatable so that
building.
people can practice. Because
Yeah.
I like to see, as I make a lot of videos on speed shooting, is to grow the speed shooting part of it. That's my little part of contributing to Slingshots.
Yep.
So whatever I can do.
See, now you got the speed shooting. I take the opposite approach. I try to be slow and accurate. I got the slow part down real good. It's the accurate part trips me up a little bit. Oh, well, I am looking forward to the East Coast. It's coming up. Let me look at the calendar here. It is
2 weeks and 3 days,
yeah, just a couple weeks.
something like that. I'm not counting down or anything.
yeah, I was gonna say,
That's another reason I wanted to have all of my, I was telling you guys before we started recording, I've been trying to get all of my backed up, grown up chores. I got a pile of them I'm trying to get done. and I want to be able to go to places like that this summer and stuff, and not have things hanging over my head. So I'm looking forward to it. Actually, I think my wife's going to go with me to East Coast. So she doesn't make it to all the tournaments, but she likes to go when she can. So we got us a hotel booked the other day. Wasn't a lot to choose from around there. I've never been, like I said, the East Coast before, so I'm not familiar with the town or anything. But
Yeah.
we got one, so I'm going to be there. And I think we're going to go check Pittsburgh out for a couple of days afterwards. I've driven past Pittsburgh, but never went and explored it. So I think we're going to do that. But when are you guys going to be heading into town, do you think?
I'll be there Thursday afternoon, probably 4 or 5ish.
Okay. We're going to leave Indiana on Thursday morning. So I'll probably get there around the same time as you then. I think it's about a 7-hour drive for me.
Okay. And we have 13 hours.
Oh, is it that far for you?
Yeah.
I figured it'd be a little closer from Georgia. But you're in southern Georgia though, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. John,
Yeah,
when are you planning on heading over there?
we'll be there at some point on Thursday as well. I've been debating just taking Thursday off work and leaving early.
Yeah.
But we'll probably end up doing that just to get out there and get settled in and get the tent and everything and campsite set up and then be able to pop around and visit and actually spend some time with people that that was my biggest regret, I think, from the Spring Sling is how much back and forth and running around, and I wanted to be able to have time with everybody, to shoot at the practice range together and to hang out and talk and shake hands and meet people and
Yeah.
get to know them more than just a quick handshake. And unfortunately that wasn't possible with everybody.
Yeah,
So
you were
this
spread
is
kind of
like
thin.
this is the thing I'm looking forward to, is being able to be out there and spend more time with the community in just a hangout role, and
Yeah.
be able to be in like an observation and learning mode as well, uh, for future events and things, and for what we can do to build the sport, and get more people involved that haven't shot, so that all of these events keep getting bigger every year. And two, for the guys that make the frames, more people's more customers, Simple Shot, and the bigger players in the game right now. And two, like just one quick little throwback to the speed stuff. For me, coming into it, if I had have known that, hey, the only thing I need to do is have like a single can on like a pole
Mhm.
or hung from something, a fixed target, as opposed to like a giant rig with a bunch of stuff, it would have made it a lot more approachable for me in the first place, and it would have made it so much more cost effective, because like, I mean, I think we spent $400 or something like that on the rig that we had built, and then we never even used it because it wasn't finished.
I was going
Yeah.
to ask you about that. Do you still have that now? Will you have that for the future or?
Oh yeah, I mean all of that stuff. The woods course targets. I
Well, I
think.
meant the one that wasn't finished. I didn't know if they ended up keeping that and you didn't get charged for it or how that.
No, I got it, and I was actually just talking to him on the phone today about kind of finishing up the stuff that didn't get finished,
Mhm.
so that we could kind of, that way I could see where we're at with it, and then see, because I've already got ideas and stuff on paper, that we want to add and make for better portability and things. But I mean, just a single thing like that on a post at the 55 inches, and
Uh-huh.
then anybody, Simple Shot could sell a single can silhouette on their website, and then you could just go order that official size silhouette, hang it in a tree,
Yep.
practice at that, whatever, and then you've got one target in it, and you don't have to worry about, well, I shot this can up, I got to do another one and just practice.
Yeah,
And but no, I can't wait to get out to ECST and see everybody,
I
and
know. I'm
just be able
excited.
to take a deep breath and enjoy the ride, instead
Yeah,
of
absolutely.
having all the pressure and performance
Well,
requirements for
you were
the
talking
event.
about wanting to meet people and other than a quick hello and stuff, but that was kind of one of the downsides of it being such a success I mean, so many people showed up and stuff. You were kind of spread thin. That's a great problem to have, but it's kind of like being a host, at a like having a dinner at your house and 30 extra people show up that you didn't know about. It's the more the merrier, but yeah, you were spread pretty thin. I know I saw you running around out there on the woods course and stuff, but it was good. I saw what you saw, where you were talking about looking across and seeing the different groups of people. It was nice to see, especially after a long winter and on a spring day, to see people out there enjoying the weather and the sunshine and stuff.
Well, and it was fun to be able to, even with all that running around, and I think there's so many different videos that I've seen, and it'll be something that's going on, and then you'll see me come in like one frame or one side of the camera and out the other side, and get it, and it's like, oh, there I go again, there I go, or like running around in the background of a shot, and it's
I
like I
did
feel like
finally
somebody needs to get all those and put them together with some of the
make a
like
compilation.
Benny Hill music or something. But-
Put some
Finally got
AI, some drums in front of you. Symbol.
I finally got to
but
see the video of the model airplane. Was that Philip that brought that?
Yeah,
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 that was such a fun
that
little.
was fun.
I wasn't out there for that, so I didn't get to see it in person, but I saw his video. That looked like a lot of fun.
I think there was more Fort Kits on those 30 minutes than the whole tournament for everyone.
Um, well, I'm going to probably wrap this up here before too long. I think I'm actually going to try to get outside and shoot a little bit more tonight. Maybe
Very
turn
good.
some lights on and do it in the dark out there. But you guys have anything else you want to add or plug or anything before we call it a night this time?
Well, I'll go first, and I'll let Andy take us home. But no, I think one of the other big things I just wanted to mention, one of the big feedback things we got was when we did the knockdowns, and then we kind of had the practice range unavailable during that point to try to not interfere with the knockdowns. That was an oversight, and we'll definitely have an outdoor range. It was something that I had originally intended to do, but I'm like, if there's going to be a range indoor, nobody's going to, everybody's going to want to be where the action is, and people probably won't go outside and shoot. And then if the weather's not nice, it doesn't matter anyway, because then nobody's going to want to be out there. And at that, early in the year in Indiana,
Uh huh.
uh, so I kind of threw that off the table, but we'll definitely have an alternate range. For the future, just so that
Yeah.
that can keep going. And I can't wait. I think RVA is hosting the practice range here
Sweet.
at ECST, and so I'm excited to see. I think they're doing like a bring your own targets contest as well. I think I saw a flyer going around,
Okay.
and so, kind of like the community can bring things to put out there. And I think they might have some giveaways too for stuff. So um, I will, for Will's sake, I will plug, hey, if you haven't registered yet for ECST, please go and fill out the registration form, get signed up for it so that they can account for everybody. Speaking from the standpoint of a presenter, that was very important, knowing numbers and being able to coordinate. So I know we got a lot of last minute people in the community, speaking from experience. So if you're watching this video and you haven't registered and you're going, please do Will a favor, go register. And then also for the NSL, that's one of those things that they didn't quite have everything ready to promote at the Spring Sling, but now things are kind of falling into place. I know there's been some big updates to the website and things, and so there's a lot of great people that have been working hard behind the scenes. I know kind of probably the biggest question that I've received from people is like, what is the goal? What is the direction for the league? And how can that benefit? And I think if everybody just believes in it and puts their $25 where their mouth is, just sign up, give it a shot this year. Uh, Go on the website, get registered. And two, I mean, it's fun because then you can have your scores recorded nationally.
Oh,
You can
that's the
look at the
fee.
rankings.
I hadn't heard the fee. It's $25 admission.
I believe it's 25 for the
Okay,
membership for the year.
that's not
Um,
bad.
but I mean, it's $25, and the community's so good at supporting people's efforts. And they showed up in droves for us for the Spring Sling. They showed up for Allie and Tristan and Augie. With that tragedy, and I mean, we uh, I think Jordan and I did some rough calculations, and we couldn't track all of it for that. But I mean, the Slingshot community, I think it was over $5,000 that the community was responsible for Augie and Allie.
That's amazing.
And so to be able to do that, and the effort that Jordan put in, and everybody that came together to support that, that's just, it's you can't say thank you enough for that. So
Right.
that being said, for $25 to support the effort, I mean, all these people, nobody's getting paid to do it. It's all volunteer.
Right.
And so, yeah, there's some things that they're still figuring out. But I think if the community can come together and support that, like I've seen them do with, everything else that people have tried to do, not only does the funding become more available to do more things with it, but then them seeing that support will be an encouragement for them to move the flag forward. And then that's what I felt like we try to do with the Spring Sling, is be respectful of the stuff that, everything that everybody's done before, try to respect those traditions and keep things familiar, but then also put our own spin on things. Some of that went perfect. Some of that, we learned some things from, but if nothing else, we grabbed that flag, moved it forward, and stuck it in the ground further, than it was. And I feel like we left the community in a better, state than we found it in,
Absolutely.
together with everybody's efforts, and really, I can't thank everybody enough, whether it was just signing up and being a part of it, trusting us for our first year, and the everybody that came out and helped, on any level. Like, it was all possible because of everybody coming together. So if we could take that energy and put it into other things, like getting the youth involved, getting, supporting the NSL, and
I think
getting your
it'll help.
membership for the year,
I think
we're going to see a lot of great things.
I think it'll translate into that, because you got a community of people that part of the fun is helping. I mean, part of the fun is just being there, like we were all there helping clean up afterwards and stuff. I mean, we were helping, but I was having a good time there. And I think that because it is so fun and it's kind of like a family, that I don't think you'll have any problems getting, people to kind of step up and I don't know how I'm trying to, my words aren't coming out right, but I think that everybody is part of the fun is getting together and making it happen,
Absolutely.
I'll spit it out eventually.
Yeah, I agree. The day before putting all that stuff together, I looked around and I don't know how many people were there on that. Was it Wednesday when we were putting up the wall and I'm like, how in the world was this going to happen without this exact amount of people show up to do it?
Yeah. But I wasn't there for that.
Yeah.
You guys had all that done by the time I got there, but I mean, it's fun.
Yeah, but cleaning up, I was going for that, but somebody was always there to pitch in. And as far as registering early, I can see why now, because I'm always the last minute show up at the door and register kind of guy. But now I'm already registered for ECST just from watching John, what he went through, putting this thing together, how much easier it would be. So do that.
I need to do that. I'll do that tonight, actually.
Everybody else that hasn't registered yet, get on and sign up. And
I see the importance of it now. So
yeah,
come and shoot slingshots with us.
Yeah, I will do that tonight. Actually, I'm gonna go out and shoot first. Try to get a little bit in before it gets too dark, but I'll come back in and do that. Anything else you guys want to add before we call it a night tonight?
Sounds good. These bugs are eating me up.
You are outside, aren't you?
Yeah.
All right. Well, gentlemen,
I enjoyed it.
I did too. I thank you for coming and chatting with me, both of you. I've enjoyed it, and I guess I'll see you guys in just a couple weeks.
You got it, buddy.
Good. Thanks for having us, Andrew.
Thanks for having me.
Take care, gentlemen. See you.
Buddy.